Good morning. My name is Sean Webb. I'm the Director of Community Engagement and the Director of the Desert Sands Unified School District Educational Foundation. And here we are for our next episode of Classroom Conversations. Where we are engaging the Desert Sands Unified School District community. Before we go further, I want to make sure that we give a special thank you to the Desert Sands Educational Foundation Board, who makes this platform available for us. As you guys know, we are sponsored by them. They're the ones that go ahead and make this available to us. And I'd like to make sure to always include the mission statement for the Desert Sands Educational Foundation. The DS Educational Foundation secures funding and awards money to provide supplemental resources that enrich and enhance student learning in Desert Sands Unified School District. And we do this in partnership with the public and private sectors. Desert Sands Educational Foundation financially supports creative and innovative programs that enrich and enhance educational experience in academics, the arts, and the extracurricular activities that engage all students throughout DSUSD. So, like I said, thank you very much to the foundation for providing this format. If you are interested in being part of the Desert Sands Educational Foundation or just want to know some more information about it, you can see my email address going across the bottom there. Feel free to email me, as well as feel free to email me any questions you have about the school district and what's going on. As my title says there, I'm the Director of Community Engagement. So please reach out to me, and if I can't find the answer for you, if I can't share the answer direct to you in this format, I'll make sure to find the answer. So there you see our Chef Mary, our co-host for the show. So we're going to go ahead and bring her on screen here now. Chef Mary, good morning. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's already 70 degrees up here in Big Bear. So I
Okay.
think it's going to be a hot one today. Blue skies, little residue from the smoke, which is causing a few of us to be kind of sniffly nosed and whatever. But it looks good. It's going to be a good day, and there's lots going on. And I'm working from home and doing some cool mathematic little drills. I didn't realize how important my iPhone was with the calculator on it. So it's good. It's looking forward to today's program.
Okay, yeah, no, we got somebody special on that's near and dear to both of us. We both worked with her both a long time. As you know, I worked with her. Geez, I've known Dr. Cook since 2005, so I've known her a very long time. So, no, we'll definitely get to that. But I'm not sure if you caught it last night, but we had a special Bailey's and Coffee where we called it a webinar and we shared about information about the return to school plan and so forth. Were you able to catch any of that by chance?
No, actually, I was buried deep in 88 menus, and then all of a
Okay.
sudden it was like 8:30. I totally forgot, but bring me up to date.
Yeah, definitely. So, I'm going to bring another screen up here. So, as you know, we had a thought exchange in early July, and these are the main things
Yeah.
that came very important to all of our families and so forth. These are the top words. So, this is it takes all of the words that were submitted and all the thoughts and everything for the school year, and the ones that are the largest are the ones that are really, really important to our families and so forth. So, anything that we brought forward, we made sure to come back to this as well. But we talked about the different plans to open up school and so forth. But I want to show this video that kind of gives us a little bit of a synopsis of what's going on. And also, this was an intern that we had. This was Mary Perry's intern that created this video. So you'll get a kick out
Oh,
of this.
cool.
So I'm going to play this real quick. It's about 45 seconds.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, that tends to happen sometimes. We're at the mercy of technology here, people. So please bear with us. Mary, sometimes I don't understand why this is happening to us with the videos when we want to do this.
I know it's Murphy's Law.
Well, you know what? We'll definitely try and share. Oh, is it coming to us? Try one more time. If we don't, we can always come back to it. That's no problem too. I can always give the little synopsis of what's going on. Yeah, why don't we come back to that, Mary? That's no problem.
Okay,
That's
cool.
no problem. Yeah, but basically, we talked about the four types of learning options that parents are going to be able to select from with the upcoming school year. And what this means is what we have after virtual learning. So Mr. Bailey shared a statistic with us last night that I found was fascinating. I was not aware of it being that large. So the governor said that you had to be 2 weeks off of his list before you can even consider any type of in-person learning. And with that being said, there's 38 counties in California that right now that are currently on that list, Riverside County being one of them. And with all that, with the start of the school year, 96% of all schools in California are going to start off with distance learning. So 96%. So it's pretty much like Riverside County's Desert Sands. We're following with everything else and so forth. And we can only do what the counties allow us to do and what the government allows us to do. But yeah, 96%. So the four options that we're going to have for after distance learning, for when we can and when the state and the county allows us to do so, I just want to go over those real quick. The four options, you're going to have, the option for virtual learning, where 5 days a week students are going to have to check in virtually with their teacher, like we're doing right now. And then we're also, another option is going to be a hybrid option, where they're going to have to potentially come to school 2 days a week. And we have plans, they're the models that are on our district website now. I know that all the schools are working hard to make sure to get their actual models of what the hybrid is going to be there and have their actual plans up there. And then, as I shared with you, Mary, we're very fortunate in Desert Sands. We've had an independent study and we've had a homeschool option. Those are option 3 and 4. We've had those options all along. That's through our Horizon through our Horizon School and Summit School. So we, luckily, we've had a couple of these options before, and we know how we're doing those and so forth. But as I shared, we're all starting from distance learning.
So are they able to gather information, including other counties and other school districts, to see what they're doing, and then sort of, melding it together to see if there's a common core of how everybody is thinking that this is going to be able to be worked out, and the students can have either learning at home or learning at school?
So I'll tell you, it's been fantastic, and I've been privy to some of the conversations and so forth, and some of what's going on. That our school district is working with both school districts here locally, CV Unified and Palm Springs Unified, and coming up with plans and ideas together. We're all coming together, and it's a great professional learning community that we're working together on this. They have their think tanks, and then a lot of times the think tanks get together, right? And then our cabinets, our assistant superintendents, our superintendents, they get together and they discuss everything that in the options and so forth, that what's best for the Coachella Valley, what's best for education. I think that's fantastic. With that being said, our neighbors to the west, between me and Big Bear, between me and you, Palm Springs Unified, they start school tomorrow. They're going to start virtually tomorrow. Yeah, and CV Unified is going to start next week. Okay, up in Big Bear.
Yep. Yeah, they started yesterday.
Okay.
Well, it was all exciting, and everybody's got their little iPads, and all the parents are home, kind of like stressing out a little bit yesterday morning, but it's the first day and it works.
I bet. You know what? Like I said, we're going to show the back to school video here after we have our guest. But our guest this morning was my boss for a couple of years over at La Quinta High School. She was my principal. She was actually Chef Mary's boss for a couple of years too.
She was.
We're going to have Dr. Cook join us, and Dr. Cook is got a new task this year where she's doing not a new task, it's new teacher orientation. She's been in charge of that for the last couple of years, but the big task that she has is she's doing this virtually. So let's bring her on here and welcome Dr. Cook.
Good morning, Dr. How are you guys?
Good morning, Dr. Cook. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. I don't know if I was really both your bosses. I feel like you guys kind of bossed me around a little.
Who are we kidding?
We thought you didn't know that.
Too funny. Hey, just so you know, Dr. Cook, we do have some people watching. And I just want to pop it up on screen here. We have Lydia Luna that says good morning to us.
Good morning.
Good morning. And then we also have, you guys know her, Harriet McNicky. She's saying good morning. And she's actually a distant family relative of mine, too. So that's nice to have her watching as well.
Morning.
But yeah, excellent. But Dr. Cook, we're here to talk about new teacher orientation. And I shared that, you've been doing this for the last couple of years, but now we're doing it a little bit differently this year. Maybe if you could talk about that.
It's so interesting because this is year 3 for me in coordinating new teacher orientation as a function of the personnel office. So we onboard all of our new employees. But really, it's much of the work done in new teacher orientation is through education services. So it's a big collaborative effort between education services, student support services, and the personnel divisions together, which is great because we get to all collaborate together. and I really thought we had it going last year. We finally, year 2, we worked out a whole lot of the kinks. We had it going. We were ready to go. And then this year, let's start from scratch. So I'm starting to feel, I am grateful for the teachers in our district, and I'm grateful for the leaders in our district and the work that they are putting in right now, because just trying to put together a 3-day or a 4-day new teacher orientation has been quite a labor of love, I'm going to call it, because I care about our new teachers and their first impressions here in Desert Sands. And that's exactly what this is going to be for them. So virtually, it's going to look a little different this year. What our big struggle was when we talk about welcoming people to our district and how to do that in a meaningful way. And one day, I'm just going to go back and tell a short little story. One day I was at a coffee shop that shall remain nameless. And, everyone has new rules in place, and everyone's trying to keep everyone safe. And so I always go to this coffee shop almost every day. Okay, don't tell my husband. I hope he's not listening. And typically it's really easy to go in, pick up my to-go order, and leave. And on that particular day, I kind of got yelled at a few times for standing in the wrong spot, for not waiting in the right place, for, apparently I wasn't doing things right. And so this person was kind of yelling at me through her mask, and I had a mask on and I couldn't really hear her, and I could tell, but she seemed angry. And so I left, and I thought, how hard is it to create a welcoming environment when you're behind plexiglass, when you're behind a mask, when you're on a computer? It's just really, you have to work a little bit harder to create that warm and welcoming environment. Does that make sense?
I agree completely.
Exactly. Totally.
So that day back in early July, I thought, okay, so we have to make a difference for our new teachers, and how are we going to make them feel welcomed and warmly welcomed virtually? So I know that's a long intro to what I'm doing. So this year, what we decided to do, and Mr. Webb, I put this up on my screen. I don't know if you want to share it. I don't think it's that big of a deal for people to see, but what I did was I created a YouTube channel or a playlist on my YouTube channel for new teacher orientation. And what I did was I asked our site leaders and our district leaders to create a welcome video, ideally a minute or less. I know my audience, right? How long do I want to watch a video? That has to do with our values. So something that I'm passionate about is alignment of everything that we do. And I know, Mr. Webb, I saw when you opened this segment today, you read the mission statement, I believe, of the foundation.
Correct.
And so one of the things I want our new teachers to really know about and understand and start to embrace are the values of Desert Sands. We have 9 of them. And so what I asked anyone to do who wanted to participate was to make a video talking about one of the values that speaks to them. Teamwork, innovation, excellence, equity, kindness was a big one that I got a few back on. Respect, relationships, I'm missing one, inclusion, and service. So I'm slowly getting them in, and starting August 1st, a few days ago, I posted 1 a day to the new teachers. I just emailed them. And I just said, as a way of welcoming you, this is a kind of a long welcome. We're doing 10 days of welcome before we start. So that's something I've done a little different to kind of start getting them into the swing of kind of who we are. So you don't have to share that screen forever. I just wanted you to kind of see something that is pushing us this year. And I know it's pushing all of our teachers. I see, Sean, you've actually changed how you do business, is having to learn new tools of the trade and new technology. And so I had created my own playlist before. And I also asked our new principals, our people who are making videos, to use a platform that we're going to ask teachers to use in the classroom. So for example, teachers often use something like Screencastify or Loom to give directions to students. And so for example, you may have a PowerPoint that you want or instructions that you want kids to see. Chef Mary, this would be amazing for you to use actually. If you're doing a short class on how to make something, you might do a 4 or 5 minute video on how to do something with maybe a PowerPoint behind you on your screen, right? And talking through the directions. So that's a tool that teachers often can use, and many of our teachers do use to provide instructions. And then the kids can go off and do what they need to do in a virtual setting. So that's one example of what I asked our people to use as you're building your videos for the new teachers to watch. So we're also modeling what we want our new teachers to do. Does that make sense?
I think it makes tremendous sense. I love that you guys have done it this way. I've also, you say that I've changed my way of business and so forth. I'll tell you, I stole this idea from a Chamber of Commerce because they're doing exactly what I'm doing. They're engaging their members and so forth. So I called up somebody from the Rancho Mirage Chamber who was using this format. I said, "Hey, walk me through it." And next thing you know, we're using this format the whole time, and it's designed specifically for streaming and getting our message out. So. No, I think it's fantastic, and I know that I use this format when I present to the teachers, and I'm sorry, guys, new teachers, I went over a minute. It happens. I'm used to talking a lot. I'm used to talking a lot, but no, I wanted to make sure that they could see this format as well. It's a different avenue of displaying things, and it could be used. I think it could be used in the educational format many ways.
Yeah.
Dr. Cook, I have a question for you. I know that there's usually sort of a normal routine of how teachers, I do a class and whatever. And now that they're going online, they're going to have different, technology and whatever, and probably have to be a little more creative on how they can personally say what they need to say to their students that are on the other side of the screen. So do they have some flexibility, or are there some specific guidelines that they're going to have to go by in general?
That's a good question. And I'm, again, we collaborate with Ed Services closely because that is their lane, their avenue. I do know that they are giving the teachers some options. For example, like I was saying, Screencastify and Loom are two popular options for teachers to use to talk, to give like recorded instructions to kids. I do believe that all of the teachers will be asked to use Google Classroom this year as their platform for basically they're managing their classroom. So for example, I use that with our assistant principals, and in Google Classroom, I can store all of my PowerPoints, all of my materials that I need my people to see and use, and any extra information. And also they can turn in all their work directly into Google Classroom. So as a teacher, it's like your inbox. It's like remember when you were a kid and your teacher said, put all your tests in this box and put your homework in that box and whatever. So Google Classroom is that opportunity for teachers to organize the workload, so to speak. And it's also kids can interface back and forth with their teacher if they have a question, or if they, you can return a paper through Google Classroom and things like that.
And
So
Chef Mary,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, Chef Marion, what's pretty awesome about Google Classroom is a kid can access it via their phone. They could do it via Chromebook. They can do a PC at their desk. They can access it anywhere, and they could be working on that document. It's not like the old days where you took a floppy disk and brought it from computer to computer or USB drive. They can work on that wherever. So a lot of times I use Google myself, the Google Suites, because it's just convenient. If I'm over at my desk or if I'm on my phone, it's just very convenient to use, and it can be shared right to the classroom. It's all in the cloud. So, and we're lucky. A lot of the kids have been using this for quite some time with their teachers.
Oh yeah.
Google Classroom interfaces nicely with the YouTube videos, Screencastify, all of those things, all mixed together, all combined together. I'm not using the right academic language. They're all interfacing with each other. So it's very easy. For example, when I made my video, it was very easy to upload to YouTube, which also talks to Google Classroom.
Yeah.
Mr. Webb, I have my Google Classroom up if you want to show it.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'll show it right now.
We kind of got off new teacher orientation, but so this is last year's, all my slide decks. It's not a pretty, I'm not one of those teachers who makes things pretty, but it's all the slide decks. So for example, if a new teacher wants to refer back to, or if a assistant principal wants to refer back to something we did back in September, August, November, it's all there. We also, like in personnel, we talk about investigation. So I have investigation information on there. So it's like a one-stop shop for the students to find the materials that they need. Think about it as a trapper keeper. Member
I was
Webb?
just gonna say that, like, so I'm wearing my University of Buffalo alumni shirt. This is a different one. I got a couple of them. I'm very proud of UB, and I'm wearing it because of I know that a lot of our teachers just got back from a virtual Avid training,
Mhm.
and in Avid, I know that they've been transitioning over to the digital version. But like you said, this is the digital Trapper Keeper. This is all the folders that everybody can find their notes for different sections, or the labs, or whatever it may be that a teacher's going to have. So I know that this says assistant principal training at the top, but those of you that are watching, envision this is, Mrs. Jones' third grade classroom, where your son or daughter is going to go ahead and find all their different things. And the beautiful thing, Dr. Cook, is we're going to have Mike Kent, we're going to have some of the teachers on starting next week to talk about some of the different things that they're going to be using in their classrooms.
Excellent. One of the things I heard you mentioned earlier, Mr. Webb, is that you said that you got this idea of your screencasting from a Chamber of Commerce,
Mm-hmm.
and you were talking earlier about Mary asked a question about how do we all know, because everyone's doing the same thing. 94% you just said of the state is actually doing virtual learning. One of the things I get a lot of my information from is AXA, our state organization, and I also work closely with our COE. And so we're not alone out here. That's what we have to remember.
Right.
Our new teachers will get to know each other over 3 days of new teacher orientation, where they can kind of find out and learn about who's in their professional learning community with regards to the first grade teachers will be together, the second grade teachers will be together, secondary English will be together, so that they can start to get to know each other and bounce ideas off each other and learn from each other. And of course, they'll do that with the teachers at their school site.
Right.
So we definitely in education love to share ideas and learn from each other. So I just wanted to, it kind of made me think when you were talking about where you got your ideas from. I get a lot off of my professional organizations.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. I know there's many times that Chef Mary would reach out to the California Restaurant Association all the time.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it's good to just sort of collaborate, your thoughts. I I listen to all sides of the story because I like to see, how the whole thing works out. And then you sort of weed out what's going to work for you, or you didn't think of that idea, or all of a sudden you just go, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? Even working, it's always nice to have somebody come in. When I was in the kitchen, one day this guy, we were striping up some glaze on some cinnamon rolls. And I was doing it like this, like I thought. He says, just get a slotted spoon, pour it in there, and just go like this. I just looked at him and I went, I've been doing this for 30 years. I never knew that was possible. So I think it's good that you've got all this other outside stuff coming in. Sort of like rings a little bell in your head that, that might be something that, we could fit in or something. One of the questions that I was asked, because I have little kids all around me all the time, is the student that could be having trouble with, say, math.
Mm-hmm.
And, we always had tutors and things in a real school system. Is that available? Will a teacher be available like after class or after hours? Or do they come into another time frame to maybe work them through a slight problem?
That's a great question. Again, Ed Services realm, but I'm going to try to answer it as best I can. I know right now the principals are working with the district and their guiding coalitions or their leadership teams to build their bell schedules. And in almost, I believe, every bell schedule is time for remediation and accelerate, or building your skills is built into, I believe, almost every school day. So teachers will be able to do small group, and I was going to show you an example of how we're going to do small groups with kids based on their need area. There's also office hours. Most of the schools are having office hours where you can come and have a private or one-on-one conversation with your teacher at a certain point. So yeah, those will be available.
And Mary, that'll be done virtually. That'll be done virtually.
Everything.
Yeah.
Sean, can you walk us through say the seniors, they have period 1 with Mrs. Jones, period 2 with Mr. Smith, and are they going to be on screen the entire day with going through each class with each teacher?
So that's a great question, Mary. And as I've shared, there's models of what we have on Desert Sands website right now. and our teachers and our leadership teams at our schools are helping develop those plans. And I know that our viewers that are watching now want that information as soon as possible. And as soon as that information is given to me, Mary, I'll tell you, you're going to be one of the first ones to see it, because we're going to share it on this
Oh,
platform.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, because you know what, this is something people have talked about. This has been chaotic and crazy in the spring, but luckily we had all of summer school in Desert Sands, where they developed and they polished up some of these things that they really did a great thing during summer school, where they practiced on these things, and they worked out some of the kinks. And we had a very, very successful summer school where we had graduation and students were able to promote and move on. So I'm very confident that once we have our plans out, that it is going to be very easy for a student to change and adjust and to kind of work into the system. I think it's going to be good. It'll be a good system.
And here's what I know from working so closely with Ed Services over the past month, and the project facilitators who have been working so hard to put together meaningful trainings for the new teachers. Yep. This is another practice ground. Everyone I've talked to is so passionate about making sure that our students have a good experience. We want our kids to learn, right? And so they are working so hard to improve the work that they're doing, the product, so to speak, that they're putting out there for our students. I don't think that they're not gonna stop until they have it where they want it. We all want our kids to succeed, because that's why we're here, right? Academic progress is our goal.
Yeah.
So one of the things that, like, for example, I'll show you.
Bring your screen up again.
Sure.
Okay.
So an example, Chef Mary, of how we plan to engage our students, right? So this is my opening for new teacher orientation for next week. And it's put your name and your favorite outdoor activity in the chat box, because our theme this year is navigating your new adventure. So, and this is definitely an adventure for all of us, right?
Yes, sure.
I can imagine being a new teacher and coming in this way. So just for a way for me to get to know our new teachers, it's put your name in it. I can take attendance that way, right? And tell us something about your favorite outdoor activity, if you have one, right? So a little bit of a get to know you, and then I'll have someone navigating my chat box for me or working through it with me. But what we've done is we have managed to differentiate our teacher orientation. So, and you originally, Sean, you had asked me kind of what it looks like. On Monday, our teachers are coming to pick up their devices. So every teacher will get a Chromebook, right? Or a laptop, depending on what their job responsibilities are. And we're sharing with them, we're giving them a little grab bag of snacks for every day, because normally we would provide snacks, right? So we are getting some donated, right, Mr. Webb, I believe?
We want to thank our friends over at Aziz Farms and CV Harvest Box that are going to be donating a couple pieces of produce for each bag. So we have healthy snacks going for them.
Healthy snacks, and we're going to do some trail mix and things like that. And then they're going to have some papers that they need to pick up some documents, kind of onboarding documents, risk management items. And then each day we'll have a schedule for them. So Tuesday is a special ed day only. So the special ed teachers are coming a day early to learn how that works. They have more kind of tools they need to use as they work through individual education plans and things like that. But on Wednesday, every day we have a general session, kind of welcome, hello, how are you? What does everyone need to know? And then we'll be breaking them up into small groups. So kind of to your question earlier about, are our kids going to be on Zoom all day long or on a platform all day? We're going to break them up into smaller group sessions so it's more meaningful, more differentiated. What do these particular teachers really need to get going to start school? Thursday, this is kind of a big one. So on this sheet that everyone's going to get, this right here is a hot link to their breakout for if you teach kinder or first grade. If you teach second to fifth grade, here's your breakouts. If you teach second year, here are your breakouts. So every teacher is going to get ideally what they need to start school. And it's, they have a lot that they have to learn, but we're trying to break it down and make it really targeted and specific. And that's what, again, we're trying to model for our teachers so that they do that as they start getting into their classrooms and seeing what their students need. We're also differentiating for our speech and language pathologists, our nurses, and our counselors.
Now, when you say they have breakouts, so they click that link, they're part of that group, does that take them to their, their virtual meeting with their other teachers?
We
Okay.
were going to do breakouts on our Zoom,
Okay.
but what we decided to do instead was just to, everyone will have their own breakout session, their own Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
in personnel, Mr. Hill and I will be working through the personnel. I don't want to give it all away, so you can stop sharing my screen now if you want.
Okay, you got it. You got it. I
What we're
understand.
gonna
We want
do
to keep a
is
little
more-
spice there.
More small group activity for personnel because it can get dry. I mean, if you just listen to 2 hours, everybody says personnel is boring. It's not. It's super interesting. So we'll be talking about our topics, but putting them into small groups, into breakout rooms where they can discuss a topic and have a conversation, and then come back and we'll do a whole group share out. So that's kind of how we'll be organizing new teacher orientation to make it hopefully meaningful and engaging, and try to get our teachers ready to start school.
Awesome. I think it's fantastic that you guys are using all the ways that we want our teachers to use and present the information to our students. I think it's fantastic that you're modeling this. And one thing I'll share, and I'm going to plug you, Dr. Cook, you did this from day one, that ever since working with you as a site administrator.
That's
And you've
right.
always been modeling exactly what you want to see our students doing and so forth. So I think it's fantastic that you take the time to do that.
Well, thank you. It's definitely, what's good about it is that we learn how difficult, like I now know, I know an eighth of how difficult it's going to be the work that our teachers have to do. This is not, it's rethinking, like we're looking at that point this morning, and it's literally rethinking, how do we do this, right? Because I can engage people standing in front of them much more. I mean, it's not that hard. All I do is, stand up and people pretty much laugh. So, it's harder to do on a Zoom with 60 people and their faces are this big, right? So we have to, they have a lot ahead of them.
Yeah,
So,
I was given the option to work at home and working on a project for the resort. And yes, Freddie was like my first day to do it. And I was like going, okay, like I got to have an office. I've got to set my desk up, but I only have a table. And then, I'm going to go to lunch. Oh, maybe I'll wait and go to lunch. Cause like I don't have a schedule, like your teachers will have a schedule. And I was running around like a crazy person in my own house trying to figure out, how do I do this? Do I work for 3 hours? Do I work for 2 hours? And like this morning, I'll probably put in a couple hours this morning. Yesterday, I worked off and on during the day. But it is a challenge to figure out how to make your day work so you can get your work done. And that, like I was working in the morning, and then I worked at noon, and then I worked last night at 9 o'clock. And I thought, no, you can't be doing this for 12 hours and then breaking up. You've got to have a routine that this is your work day from here to here. So it's interesting to see the schedules and, how they're going to work this out. Because I'm kind of a schedule person. I need to be there at 9. You have to be there at 10. If I'm let loose, I kind of just get all over the place, and I've got to figure out how to make that work. Maybe I have to make a schedule for myself.
I'll build you a bell schedule, Chef Mary.
Oh, good. Yes.
I will say, I'm hearing more and more people talk about their home office, right? And back in the spring, I didn't hear that term as often, but I know I have a couple teacher friends who are really setting up, this is the room in my house where I work, right? And when I can leave my work and go to lunch in my kitchen, then I can go back. Oh, my lights just went out. I can go back, to work in the afternoon. But to your point, like if it's in the middle of your living room, then you're working at 9 o'clock at night because it's right in front of you.
Yep.
Right. So it's nice if you can find that space in your house that's your workspace.
And one
Maybe I'll
of
put it in
the
my bed.
one of the things that I did, Mary, is that I can't just stand still. And with my job, director of community engagement, I was going from business to place to different community partners all the time. So what I've been doing in my house is I'll work 2 hours from this room, then I'll go work 2 hours in the living room. I'll go work 2 hours standing up in the kitchen, because I couldn't just be at any one place for that extended amount of time.
Yeah, that's the same with me. And it's like I'm realizing that that it's a lot of chair time, sitting down a lot. I thought, okay, I'll get up and I'll walk around. I'll go outside. I'll come back in. Then one of the programs I monitor away from it for too long, it shuts down automatically. And I was trying to figure out how to bring this program forward and that program backward. And I was like probably 2 hours just trying to organize how was I going to be able to do this efficiently and get it through, because I have a timeline with my boss to sort of get all this thing put together. But thank God for the cell phone that's got a calculator in it.
You
It
know,
was a smooth test.
the big parts of technology and the tiniest parts of technology are definitely helpful.
I
So
know.
I need to know if either of you call this your camera.
Yes.
I call it my camera. I need to get my camera out. I think it's
Oh,
a
okay.
phone, but I typically use it to take pictures.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, I went paddleboarding this weekend, and I'm like, oh, I need to bring my camera with me. It's really
This is
fun.
mine is my clock. It's the most expensive clock I have.
Your clock, your calculator, your camera. Yeah.
Dr. Cook, I want to point out for the first time ever, I went paddleboarding this weekend as well up in Big Bear.
How'd you do?
I didn't fall. I'll be honest, a lot of it I did for my knees because I'm a little bit scared, but I did get up all the way and I made it around the little bay where we were and so forth. It was really cool. It was a great exercise. Geez, my
It's good.
forearms, my core, everything was hurting
Mhm.
afterwards. So yeah, but
Good. How fun.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. But you know what? I know you've taken about 20 minutes of your day. I know that you got things going on. Thank you very much for joining us. And before we have you head off here, I want to say that we do have some other of our La Quinta families that are watching.
Oh,
That
Kathleen.
Kathleen says
Oh,
hello.
hi, Mrs. Doyle.
Yeah, and then we also have Daisy Villanueva watching. And then Harriet wanted to make sure she gave a shout out to all of us here. So
Oh,
Hi, Harriet.
yeah,
so
yeah.
sweet. Thanks, Mr. Webb. I appreciate you pumping up a little bit of our new teachers. They are going to be working really hard. So thank you for paying attention to them.
You got it, no problem. And if we could, if there's any way that we could somehow, I don't know, if we can integrate, I don't know, them on their Zoom and I can show that to the community, I think that'd be kind of cool. If we maybe you and
Yeah.
I could bounce our heads later this week, see how we
Absolutely.
can make that happen. I think that'd be awesome. But
Yeah.
thank you very much, Dr. Cook. You
Sure.
have a great day. All
Bye.
right, we'll see you later.
Talk, see you later.
So, Chef Mary, you got to catch up with Dr. Cook today. What do you think about that?
I know. Well, it's kind of interesting because I think we all have a lot of questions, doing all the formats. Sometimes it's nice just to hear how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how are you going to manage the day, are they really going to be on their computer from, a normal school day from 7:30 to 2:30, going from classroom to classroom. I think that's encouraging to know that there's some schedules and breakouts and that students can be on the screen, but not, you don't want to lose their interest really fast. Although they
Right.
can be on their cell phone like this for 30 hours at a time.
Yeah.
I know that personally, so it's like, it was good to hear that information. I was glad she shared that with us.
Oh, definitely. And it's it's a good transition because Thursday we have somebody joining us on our show, and they're going to talk about how they're changing the way of how they teach and so forth. And her name is Kelly McQuinn. Kelly
Okay.
she lives in Palm Springs, but she is I just got a couple quick facts here. She's known as the creative producer, the kid expert, edutainer. So for example, I know that she most recently worked with a couple of our elementary school sites on STEAM education, and they did a musical where they're singing about science and technology
Oh,
about
wow.
NASA. And she's going to come on and share about how she's going to change the way of how she does things, because a lot of the times that she would have these programs with the students, they're all after school. So she's going to come up and share how she's changing her way of doing things. And I know that she got an Anderson Children's Foundation grant, just like the Desert Sands Educational Foundation got a Anderson Children's Foundation grant. And she's going to share how she's using that to change the ways and how she's going to be able to work with students and so forth, since we are doing everything virtually right now. But I think that'd be pretty cool. And also, Chef Mary, pretty cool about Kelly McQuinn. You and I are that much closer to President Obama and his wife. She's worked with them directly. Yeah, she's worked with them directly. You know that game, 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon? Well, we're only 2 degrees away from President Obama now.
Oh my gosh. I know it was, I have this really good friend of mine that's back east. I've known him since we were like 3 years old, and he rode horses with Capitol Park with all the presidents. And I was lucky enough to be there to get a Ronald Reagan hat.
Okay,
So
okay.
you have that little, it's nice to say, oh, I knew Ronald Reagan. I knew his hat. So you have that little degree of knowing someone famous.
There you go. So I'm going to try and reshare with the screen so we can show that commercial because, like I said, Mary Perry's intern did this, Stefan, and it's an amazing video talking about the process that I shared about earlier in regards to opening school and so forth. So let me see if we can open up this and see if it'll work this time. Please bear with us in the technology. Okay, there's that slide, and let's try the video.
It is back to school time, but not quite in the way we were expecting. Under current state mandate, all students will begin the school year August 19th with distance learning. However, as public health conditions allow, we anticipate the opportunity to transition to more in-person learning experiences later in the school year. Parents will soon be receiving information regarding how to pre-select their child's preferred learning model. This information will allow us to prepare for that anticipated transition and continue to provide each child the best possible education. For more information, check out the DSUSD website at dsusd.us/preselection.
So Mary, as I was sharing, that video was completely made by one of our graduates from the Palm Desert Film Academy, film school, over at Palm Desert High. You know, like we had the culinary program at
Yeah.
La Quinta, they have the film and media program at Palm Desert, and he fully did that whole video on his own. Pretty amazing. His name is Stefan.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see what these guys can do. We know with technology, you and I will probably struggle.
Hey,
Yeah,
take it
so-
easy. I'm doing my best to adapt here and change and so forth. But I will share that, you know, since we're talking about the Palm Desert Aztec Film Program, we're partnering with them. The foundation is going to be partnering with them. I'll kind of give a little of a snippet here for those of you that are still listening. We're going to have a 30-minute event on KESQ in late August, where we're going to talk about we're going to talk about everything Great Desert Sands. And we're going to talk about everything that, you know, the changes in education and the different needs that are needed with the changes in education. And we're partnering with Palm Desert High School, as well as we're partnering with Indio High School with their film teams and their media production teams to help have a great product. And that's going to be about 30 minutes long in late August. So we're working together on that. And it's kind of cool that we're meeting virtually to do that. So, yeah.
I know.
We got that moving
forward. When do you go back to school?
Oh, we start on the 19th.
19th, okay.
Yeah, we start virtually on the 19th. Yeah, but you know, Mary, we're coming up on 45 minutes. I know that you got a busy day ahead of you. You got some projects going on in your yard and so forth.
Exactly. They just arrived. I'm excited.
Okay, and I'll be honest, I'm actually still on vacation right now, but I want to keep our viewers going and so forth. And you know, we got this day, and then Thursday we got the next show coming up. So it's gonna be a lot of fun this week. So Mary, you be well. And,
I will.
I will catch up with you, and we'll see you Thursday. Yeah, have a good one.
Okay, bye, Sean.